Hi there, welcome to the Shoe Rainer Drawing Channel, and this is part 2 of my Monday challenge by 07UK, how to draw an octopus doing a Rubik's Cube. Actually, he's doing 4 Rubik's Cubes. I made it hard on myself. So this is actually the painting section, and let's not talk about it. Let's do it! Well, I'm going to start off by doing some sand. I'm going to get a bit of yellow. I'm going to get a bit of Naples yellow as well, which is kind of creamier colour. And it's quite wet. I think that's maybe too yellow. So, and watercolour. It's called watercolour because you wanted to use it wet. Okay. And just... Now I'm having to have the board actually quite flat, well, very flat on the table for the camera. I haven't worked out how to do that, because normally if I was painting I would have it up at an angle, at a gentle angle, so that you can drag the colour down and gravity kind of helps. But I have to kind of do this for the camera, so sometimes you kind of get blobs, and in doing this kind of a wash, see, gravity would help bring it down, and it's kind of, you're going to get kind of areas where there's a bit more where it kind of pools a bit. Now while it's wet, I'm going to drop in this kind of colour. A bit of shadow, just to thicken up the kind of sand, the colour of the sand, and also because the hatching marks there kind of makes the colour kind of disappear a little bit. So that's just kind of building it up a little bit, and then for the water in the background, I'm going to use, there's a colour here, it's called Windsor Green. It's called Windsor Green because it's Winsor and Newton, so I don't know what other people would call it. It's probably emerald or something like that, I think. Windsor, or is it Windsor Emerald? I think it's called, so it's probably an emerald. It's been sat there for so long, I haven't bought one recently, so I'm not quite sure what it's called. And I just dab a little bit of ultramarine in with it as well, and so you get this kind of, and I just want it to be a nice kind of wishy washy kind of greeny, turquoisey, under the sea kind of colour like that. And I suppose I'm possibly being quite quick with my brush strokes, but I suppose that's just years of practice, just, you know, sort of knowing where to stop, and like I always say, practice, 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 and that's what kind of does it. Now it's still looking a bit wet along the top. It's drier around the octopus, and I'm just going to add a little bit of blue just to put some kind of hint of difference in the background. And then I'm going to do this shadow in here as a kind of a bluey. It's actually a colour you'll see me use it a lot, called neutral tint. I don't know if other people do this. I don't think I ever really had, no, I don't think I ever really, I never had any real watercolour lessons. I've learned this all by myself, and I kind of trial and error. These are the colours I use, and I know some people look at my palette and go, what? And I think, and I kind of look at some other people's, you know, you get these, you know, how to do watercolour videos, and these guys who are out there painting, you know, country scenes and things like that, and I look at their palette and go, what are those colours they got in there? And I think they're kind of the officially correct ones or something, but I don't know. I think you know, part of your style comes from, you know, what you choose to have in your palette and the way you use it. And if you're going to, you know, follow someone else's palette, and you know, and if they say you've got to have this, you've got to have that, I don't know. I think you're probably going to end up just looking like they do. It's very similar, and you know, whereas if you choose your own colours, things you like, play, you develop your own style and personality. You'll see me rubbing my hand across there, because when it's wet, the paper all kind of ruckles up, and I probably shouldn't do it because I'm probably getting grease all over the paper from my hands. You know, everybody's hands are sweaty and greasy, and but I like to just I kind of feel it, and then when it feels flat, then I know I'm ready to paint again. But you know, it's just one of my little things. And I'm trying to decide what colour to paint this octopus, because it can be any colour you like. Now I don't know, I'm a sucker for burnt sienna here. But I'm going to add a bit of orange to it just to kind of lighten and brighten it up a bit. You'll probably find there's another colour you can buy that is similar. And I don't know what it is about burnt sienna, but I use it an awful lot, and it's kind of my signature colour, I suppose, which kind of some people hate. And I do try not to use it, but I keep finding I keep coming back to it. Some people go, why are you using that? They say it kind of dulls all my paintings, and it's quite hard. It's quite hard. You kind of have these ideas in your head. Now I'm leaving that kind of bit there as a kind of. I think I should try and just soften that a little bit. Always have some kitchen towel or something along here. Kitchen towel is really, really good. So you can just kind of dab in there to get that kind of highlight. And then I'm going to make this darker down the bottom. And I'm being an octopus, it doesn't really matter if it's blobby or not. Because they are quite blobby, aren't they? Like that. So I'm just kind of blobbing in and dropping in darker colour. And again, now this. So I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to fill this all in with a reasonably light. I think it's probably a bit too dark actually, but reasonably light version of. So it's the same colour, but with a lot of water mixed in with it. And I might try and leave a little bit of, I can't quite. Okay, so it's a thinned down version. And you'll see why I'm trying to do that in a moment. Let's bring that around there. So the octopus, because it's you know, so fluid, you really want to try and get a lot of painting work done while it's all still wet. So get it all covered. I think that's got all the top surfaces covered. And then I'll make it a bit darker. So I'm mixing up a stronger version of it, a bit more orange. And then I'm going to kind of drop. Actually, I'm going to change brushes. That's quite a thick brush. So this is a bit more subtle, this brush. And I'm going to bring that down there, like that. And then kind of blend it. And I think it's drying too quickly there. So it should kind of drop in. And it's kind of drying quickly. Probably because of the camera lights, I don't know. And some papers will dry more quickly. You know, some papers are great. Some watercolor papers are fabulous. They kind of sit there like blotting paper, and they just soak it all up, and they don't dry up too quickly. And some do, and some don't. It's all experience. But that's part of the fun and the joy of watercolor, and learning to paint. And I think the all the experimentation is part of the fun. And if you don't get it right, it doesn't matter. Don't upset yourself. You can always do it again. and I know that kind of upsets some people. But if you're going to get it right, you got to get it right. There are some bits of art where I've done I don't know how many times, and I would, and I'd have deadlines as well, which is hard work. And you've got a publisher waiting for the artwork, and they think, you get so far, and you think, no, that's just not right. And I would put it to one side, and my wife would go, what? It's just not right. Got to do it again. And I think that's maybe that's one of the things about being a professional, is that you're prepared to do that kind of thing, to get it right, and do it again and again and again until you do get it right. Okay, and you can see I'm just kind of dropping it in stronger colour and letting it kind of bleed into the wet paper, and that'll be stronger around there. And just slowly building up the kind of the three-dimensional ness. I think I've used that word on it for a while. Three-dimensionalness of it. And I hope you know what I mean by ness. It's one of my daughter's words. I think. Well, as far as I know, she invented it. She always used to talk about the ness of things, and it's the the essence of something. You're just trying to capture that essence, the ness, the thing that makes it what it is. I think that's looking. I'm looking in the camera now. I think that's looking quite good. So I'm gonna. Now the legs are kind of quite. The underneaths are usually quite a creamy kind of colour, aren't they? The little tentacles and the suckers. Probably make them kind of like that, which is pretty much the same colour as the sand, actually, isn't it? Maybe they should be slightly lighter than the sand, so I might have to fix that at some point. It's the thing about watercolor is you're just building up and building and building and adding and layer upon layer, and eventually you find, whoop, I've overdone it, and you have to start again. Again, that's experience, knowing when to stop. And I'm going to make that a little kind of thicker around there. And again, it's this dropping more pure colour into it while it's wet. Again, doing that same trick like that. Maybe around there, like that. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some bright colours into these Rubik cubes. Like that. And what do we have? We have orange as well, don't we? Have to think of all these. I can't think what all the colours are now. I'm going to think greens. I'm sure we've got a green, haven't we? And then I have to really think about this. I want some green in there, and then we want some red. And so I'm going to change that to red. And red in there, and I think we just need some blue. Like that, okay. And then I'm gonna put a bit of shade into the center of these suckers to kind of bring them out, to make them look a bit suckery, like that. I'll make that darker underneath there. I think I should do something with the eye, and I'm sure this isn't a proper octopus eye kind of colour, but I'm going to do that like that, leaving a little bit of white around the top, and again with some burnt sienna, and then just kind of fade it into the yellow, and that should make it look quite liquid. I'm going to put a little bit of kind of shading in around these suckers. This is going to be quite a long video as well. This certainly was a Monday challenge. If you've got ideas you'd like for me to do for a Monday challenge, let's put them in the comments box below. I never expected to do this. This has been quite a big one. Okay, now I'm going to get some kind of purple, and that's gone blue. Hang on, I'm putting the wrong colour. Oh, that's a very... Oh, got the wrong colour. Never mind, that's probably okay. And I'm going to put kind of blobs in, just to make it look more interesting. And make sure you get some kind of halfway up on the edges like that. And so just make it look a bit more interesting like that, I think. Yeah. And we need some on its body. I don't know, what is this bit called? I should know that, but yeah. It's the... That's his head, so that's his body. I don't know, stomach thing, bag. And then I think all we really need to do is the Rubik's Cube. This is a long video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of painting in around those colours like that. There. Kind of down the middle, so it's kind of trying to fill in the spaces like that. And it's probably not dark enough. Oh, something wet there. Hang on. And like that. And now down there, cross, cross, cross. Down there. Oh, there's my phone beeping away in the background. It's just looking for a signal. That's all right. No one trying to talk to me. Like that. And okay, and then what we need to do is to make it darker kind of on one side to really bring them out like that. And probably the underneath. Like that. Like that. And then I think we're just going to want a bit more kind of shadow. I think we need a bit of shadow there just to bring that forward, and there too. And I'll just kind of fade that out. And a little bit of in there and behind there. That could be darker there actually. There. This can be darker. Hang up there like that. And behind there. Just to bring the one in front out a little bit. Not sure about that. There we go. And maybe a bit more around there like that, and a bit more in there. Just to bring that there, a little bit more there. Wet that down a bit. I think we need a bit more serious shadow underneath to kind of really put it on the seafloor. Great, there we go. Fabulous, there you are. An octopus doing a Rubik's Cube, and keep thinking I can keep adding more to it. I can keep adding more, but I must stop at some point before it goes all wrong. I think I should have some more around there, a bit more in there, maybe something. Just need to soften that shadow. There we go. Thanks for watching. If you've got more ideas for the Wednesday challenge, then put them in the comments box down below, and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching, and keep coming back. Make sure you're subscribed here to the Shoe Renter Drawing channel, so you'll be informed when I do new videos. Have you got me on Twitter and things like that? Twitter, G+, Facebook. There, all the links are down below. And keep drawing. Practice. And I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.